Why are pirates called pirates?
I don't know.
Because they are.
That's my level. I like that.
That is my go-to joke.
I've had so many pictures on WhatsApp of this joke. What do you call a paedophile across a pirate? R. Kelly.
Oh, shit.
God, I'm all right.
Good evening, Internet.
Welcome back to another episode of In the Doghouse. Marlon, who has graced our presence this evening?
Oh, we got someone very famous on tonight.
We do, yeah.
We have the one and only Jem Warren.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Are you happy to be in the Doghouse?
I am happy to be in the doghouse.
Well, thank you for coming on. We feel very graced by your presence to come down here to our lowly little garage studio and get pissed with us.
It's a studio, mate.
Don't fuck up studio, mate.
Don't fuck up studio.
Sorry, I'm not starting this off very professionally. I'm lighting a fag and having a sip. It's going well, isn't it? It's going well. We're still recovering, so
Yeah.
yeah. Your voice was all right today.
It was okay. Like you can tell, I'm a little bit. How you getting on?
Yeah, got your Barry White on.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I'm still a little bit tender.
I woke up this morning, Jem, and I rang him and I said, Marlon, I've lost.
In a proper panic, mind.
I said, Marlon, we got Jem on tonight. He was like, yeah. I was like, I lost my voice, mate.
Oh, no.
I was like, what are we going to do? Sign language on a podcast? So I reckon I went in a shop and I bought about 3 packs of Halls, 2 packs of Fisherman's Friends, that bottle of light cough syrup. I was just there swigging it at work, chucking Halls back. I was like, gotta get this sorted. And now it's sorted, and now I'm smoking Marlboro Golds to fuck it all up again. So by the end of this episode, it'll sound horrendous.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10 for effort, there, Shag.
Yeah, so that was that. So Marlon, how's your week been?
It's been all right. Back to work on Tuesday. Did a whole 4 days.
It felt more than that, didn't it?
Oh, it did, yeah. And then, obviously, busted out all the gaming consoles earlier.
Yeah, I've seen the picture. Did you put them on your Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you did. Marlon's gone full retro,
Right.
and he set up this room in his house. Well, actually, no point me telling it. You tell it. Grand Designs. Come on, Kevin McFuck.
So basically, we've moved bedrooms. So I've got a whole room to do nothing with.
Right.
So I've set the N64 up, the PlayStation 2. We're taking it real back. Oh,
Life with no children. You really are embracing it, aren't you?
I have 2 children. Dumb and Dumber.
Don't call your dogs children. Don't be one of those people, please.
That's
Don't
enough
be-
responsibility for me.
They are a fucking responsibility. I can tell you that much.
Tank's fantastic, but it's still a fucking retard.
Tank and Bullet. Can you tell that Marlon is somewhat involved in American culture?
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's
How
just
would
he
you
is.
know that?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. His T-shirt doesn't give it away at all, does it? The old stars and stripes there. Yeah. So I was going to ask you about the N64, the Nintendo.
Oh, the graphics are hideous.
Are they really that bad?
Yeah, but I have just bought an upscaler.
How much was that? Because HD, is it like you've got the SCAR or whatever to...
Yeah, so you got your left and right audio and then your video in.
Red, yellow and white, isn't it? That's the old school.
So this upscaler, it does upscale it, but it's very fuzzy.
How much was it, if don't mind me asking?
A tenner.
Oh, that's all right then.
So I think I'm going to have to spend some actual money.
I think
on
you might
one.
have to get it, because I've been told they're like 100 quid, the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to have to go with it, I think.
I think you are going to have to dig deep on that one.
I also need a CRT TV.
One of the old school, like deep ones.
Deep ones.
That's it. Remember those old monitors you used to have at school? They wheel it in when you're watching a video and you'd be like, yes!
That's what I need, because obviously the G-Con guns for the PlayStation.
For time splitters.
Yeah, don't work on flat screens. Because it
yeah.
uses cathode ray timing.
You've kind of lost me there, I won't lie. But I understand.
It uses a thing which HD TVs don't have.
That's all you need to tell me, boo.
Yeah.
Jem, what's the week been like?
Actually, I've had a pretty shit week. Everything's gone wrong, and
Go on, Jem. We love a
People are
cuss. We
assholes.
love a cuss on the podcast. You know
Oh.
this. Go on. Let's have it.
You know, so I came down from where was I? Liverpool on Wednesday, and I tipped, and I could have got loaded at a quarry, and instead of loading me, they decided their loader was broke because they couldn't be bothered. So I had to load the next morning. When I got there, because I hadn't been in there in the morning for about 3 years, I got shouted at because apparently I should know that the gates are closed until a certain time. And then I got stuck in traffic, so I had to make somebody wait to tip me so I could get home on Friday, and they weren't very happy with me. So it was just one of them weeks where everything just went wrong.
Yeah. Proper job stuff.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
So treated like shit most of the week then.
Yeah,
And I
basically.
can't work out why there's a driver shortage. Why
No, I
do
know.
why do not more people want to get into the industry?
I don't know, you know.
It's such an easy life by the sounds of things.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds fucking hideous.
Reg,
Yeah.
how's your week been now, mate?
Well, I won't lie. I took. I had a 4-day week, so I was the same as you. I took Monday off when we got back from Prague, so we didn't get back home till 4 o'clock in the morning or something stupid.
About 4:30, I think we got back.
Yeah, so I binned off work Monday. That was already booked that off, so that wasn't the end of the world. Spent all day on the sofa doing nothing, and
Proper
then
spring onion, like.
yeah, and I had the same sort of, I say illness as you, but it was more like smoking, the same as Snake, smoking imported cigars, too many fags, air conditioning lit as fucking the apartment, drying our mouths out and just drinking copious amounts of piss and not a drop of water. So that kind of screwed me over quite badly. So on Wednesday, I've been work straight off, and I sat down and I watched, now this is no small feat. I watched an entire series of Narcos.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
From the beginning?
I can practically speak Spanish, mamacita. All right.
You know.
Yeah, so I've done that. I've done a whole series of Narcos. I am well educated on the do's and don'ts of being a drug kingpin. So
Cool.
coming at you soon, it'll be Doghouse branded cocaine.
Yeah. We could get the little stamp for the pills as well.
We could, yeah, pill press.
Yeah.
Not that I know what that is. But yeah, other than that, I got a new phone, which is probably the most interesting thing I've done this week.
What did you get?
I went for the Samsung S21 Ultra,
Cool.
the big one in
Is
black.
that with a pen or without?
Well, you can buy a pen for it, the stylus, because now I didn't think I'd need a stylus on a phone, but I've had a stylus on the last 2 phones I've had because I've got the Note, Samsung Note, and it's really good for obviously I do all the, everyone that's listening probably sees on wherever you get your podcasts. You've seen that we obviously do our own cover art and we occasionally fuck with it and put a little funny thing on it, cancelled, or there's no fuel. Oh, funny. Yeah, and that's me with one eye closed, pissed up after Thatcher's Thursday, yeah, this would be good. And obviously I use the stylus for that because it's really good at getting things just in position. And obviously this new one doesn't come with it, but I found out you can buy one for it, so that's quite handy. Spending half an hour on the phone to EE was not fun, trying to sort it out.
Usually they're really good.
No, they are. Well, they are. They have been. I've been with them 6 years. And when I rang them up, said, look, they said, are you ready for an upgrade? I said, yeah, definitely. So I rang them up and said,
that fucking steam-powered piece of shit over
hey,
there.
whoa, talk smack about my Note 10. She's a beast. So I rang them up. I was like, yeah, all right, rang upgrades. And I was like, right, okay. And they said, this is the price, 81 quid a month. I said, is that the best deal you can do? Because I was looked online, it was 76. I was like, what's going on? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, we're obviously not in the mood to make a deal today. So, right, that's it. So I found out if you ring cancellations, you get a hell of a deal. Threaten to leave. Oh,
Same with Sky, innit?
I got a cracking deal. Yeah, no. And it was meant to be out of stock. And I was like, is it out of stock or is it out of stock in inverted commas?
Well,
She was like, I'll do what I can. It says 7 days until stock's expected. I had a text about 20 minutes after I got off the phone. Your DPD parcel will be with you tomorrow. Job on. So yeah, I haven't got it here because I don't know anyone's ever seen my phone. I hope no one has. But it's in a super bulletproof bolt together case.
Because what do you like to do with your phones, Reg?
Well, I generally put it in my top pocket. So when I'm taking fire, it generally protects me when I'm being a spy and shit. So no, I like to drive over my phones. I've done it 3 times. I just leave them on the bonnet and then I drive off when I'm doing something. And yeah, so But yeah, so I've ordered a new case for it. So the case for the new phone. So I'm not using it until then. No, do you ever like when you get a new phone, just ever that setting up part?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a lot easier than it used to be, though.
it is. But remember the days when you used to have to transfer all your numbers over by hand?
yeah.
You had to get your list out, and you had like your old Nokia and your new Nokia, and your SIM card would only hold like 100 numbers or something.
Yeah.
But you'd have like 500 numbers, and
You
have to.
ain't got more than fucking 100 friends.
Why have you got to be so mean? Well, just because it linked up to Facebook once, I've got everyone's phone number from there. It was like 3 phone numbers I always ring anyway. But yeah, so I was not looking forward to that. It's just sat in the box, and I'm just putting it off. But yeah, that was probably the most interesting thing that I've done this week. I managed to drag that out for about 5 minutes.
That was exhilarating. That was...
That is how I feel about your grand designs and your fucking house modifications. So don't come at me saying, "Oh, I'm bored of you here talking about your phone, Reg." Yeah, so Jem, let's get straight into it. The guest questions, and we constantly change these up now, so nobody knows what's coming.
Right.
So I shall start off. What is your go-to drink?
My go-to drink. It changes on the occasion, I think.
A woman after my own heart. I'm sat here drinking, what is this? Dark fruits when I'm usually drinking Stella. So
If it's a hot sunny day and you're in a beer garden, it's got to be a pint of Thatcher's.
agreed.
If you're out on a night with the girls, it's got to be a Prosecco or a glass of wine. Or if you're out for a drink with the girls.
Oh, what? Hang on, what's it? Whoa. Out. That's out.
So there's like posh drinks with the girls, which is like dress up and and you start on the wine and Prosecco. Or there's like a carnival night out, which is more you might start on the gins and then it just changes. Every drink changes. So it might be a cider, then a shot, and then a bottle, and then could be anything. But I do like the sweet drinks.
That's a very varied answer, and I like
is.
it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, you got a drink for every occasion.
Yeah.
What's your truck show drink?
Truck show drink, probably ciders or Prosecco. You got to start...
Prosecco by the bottle.
Yeah.
You got a big chiller in the old Scani there?
Quite a big one. Yeah. It does fit a few bottles in.
Every other bloke's pulling out slabs of Foster's. Jen's there just like taking the foil off the top of Prosecco, like, ladies, don't mind me.
So, perfect night in or out?
Oh, well, perfect night out is quite hard because, like I say, like there's so many different nights out that you can have. There's the night out with the girls. It's like a posh dress-up night out. There's a carnival night out, which is carnage. There's truck show nights out, which are carnage.
Yeah.
There's like the few drinks out that ends up to be a whole night out. But I think what me and Ryan, my boyfriend's been doing quite a lot lately. We like to go out for breakfast at this place in Bridgewater called the Wild Rocket. And it's a lovely breakfast, but they serve alcohol as well. So we'll have like a glass of wine or a pint with our breakfast. And then we'll leave thinking, we'll go home and make the most of our day, do something productive. Oh, yeah, but Vino's over the road is open. So we're just popping there.
Escalates from there.
Yeah, and then literally it gets to like 10 o'clock and I'm tired. So Ryan will take me home and put me to bed and he'll go back out.
Oh, you're like me. I'll start too early, and then I'll get this kind of like drunk sort of middle of the day hangover and need to go to bed, and then start again.
Yeah.
I can't do the full day thing. That's when we're in Prague. That's probably why you notice I didn't really drink in the morning / early afternoon because I just can't get on it.
We're getting old, mate. We can't keep up anymore.
No, it's a sad,
tried.
It's a sad
and
state
had
of
to get
affairs.
put to bed at 12 o'clock at night.
And then it's back out again after that.
Well, the thing is, if you go to bed, start early, go to bed early, then you've got a full day the next day to do the same again or do something productive.
That's a very good way of looking at it. We should take a leaf out of Jem's book, really, shouldn't we? Instead of just staying up till like 2 o'clock after a podcast, like putting the world to rights when the guests have gone out.
We probably won't know, will we?
No, it's not going to.
It's a nice idea.
If we had to pay for drinks, we might.
Yeah.
But the fact is we don't, and it's here, and it's on tap, and we can just drink as much as we want.
Yeah.
I tell you what we should do, Barlon. We should do all the merch We'll just do it tomorrow, Reg. We'll do it tomorrow. How many tomorrows ago was that, mate? 40? It's coming. Don't worry, we're working on it.
Just stop fucking mentioning it.
Keep bringing it up. Yeah,
I'm working on it. It's really fucking difficult because we're not going to order what they want us to order.
Yeah, minimum order quantities are huge. And we don't want to be, like we say, we don't want to be stuck with stuff. So it's coming. Marlon's getting
I've got an
there.
escort to fucking run here. And it breaks down every week, so I can't afford to be chucking like thousands of pounds of merch.
Yeah, man, try and run 2 Range Rovers here. You know
That's your own fucking fault.
What, on the escort isn't?
No.
Oh, shut up. Anyway. Sorry, just sitting bickering. Jem's sat there like, it's like watching mum and dad fight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right, so what is the most mental thing that's happened to you on a night out?
Well, I think the most proud moment, was over Carnival one year. Ramblers Carnival Club, they always do a big dressing up thing. So they went out as cowboys one year and they turned this tandem bike into a horse and cart. So it had a big cart on the back and a horse on the front. Well, they got so drunk one night that they all went home and they just left the cart. Well, one of my friend's boyfriends is in Ramblers and we said, we better do something with this cart. We might as well just commandeer it, haven't we? No, so there's 3 of us on this tandem somehow. I think it was just like, I was at the front trying to steer the thing, which was the worst thing to steer ever.
Worst job.
Yeah, and they were at the back. One was cycling. It was probably Roxy that was cycling because Naomi's too much of a princess. She must have been sat on the bar.
You are getting called out on this one.
And we actually got served through McDonald's drive-thru.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I honestly couldn't believe it because they are so funny about going through anything apart from a car.
In my younger years, I went through that drive-through, and I can confirm they get very, very funny about certain things. I'll tell you after the podcast.
So
Remind
we
me.
need a tandem, and we make it look like a horse and cart.
Yeah, I can give you videos and photographs of how it looked and go
Fantastic.
for it.
I love it.
The worst part about you steering is because whatever happens, you're going to get the blame for it, aren't you? If you hit something or if you go off course, Jem, yeah. I can. You.
But it was so hard. I can't believe a tandem is that hard to steer.
Yeah, my mum used to have on the back of her like a tag along. Do you ever remember those? Which was like it was like one wheel with like a long bar that you'd bolt just under the seat rest. And then like you like my little sister used to go on the back of it, and my little sister was a competitive little shit when she was younger. And we'd be going downhill, and I'd be riding behind my dad, and she would be pedaling downhill to try and overtake me and my dad. And my mum that was there, and the brakes were fading like fire. She said, Gabrielle, stop pedaling! Anyway, so I ended up in a hedge. But yeah, so I can sympathise with you on that one. Right, so let's get into the meat and veg of this podcast. So usually we sort of jump around but there's a lot to talk about here. So we thought we'd try and work a little bit chronologically on this one. Start from the start. So we've got a few bits of insight from a few people I know and mutual friends and whatnot. So we thought we'd start with gymnastics.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. I had no idea until this week that you were heavily into gymnastics. How did that get started?
I started gymnastics when I was 4.
4?
Yeah, and I finished when I was 14. Because, when you're 14, there's other things that are more important, like going out with your mates and stuff like that. And,
a lot.
Boys.
Yeah. I imagine there's a lot of pro footballers, what could have been pro footballers now that are crackheads because just going out with the boys was not too much fun.
Yeah, and then when I was 19, I joined the circus. Basically from, I could always like cartwheel and walk over and flip and whatever. So I see my friend doing some circus stuff and I knew she'd been to circus school and I thought, right, I'm just going to join the circus. So I did.
Like a genuine circus?
Well, I didn't realise that you could actually join a circus or go to circus school without coming from a circus family. Because you would think you had to be in a family or do so, but you could actually go to circus school and learn how to be a circus performer.
So is this
Yeah,
like
'cause, they've got
Bridgewater College Circus School, or
No, it was
is
a-
I don't think it's an NVQ, Marlon. Put it that way.
No,
Okay.
no, you don't get qualifications from
Gonna
it.
say it's
It's,
not a BTEC in being the bearded lady. No, that's not what you were, obviously. Sorry.
what's it? The old City Guilds in circus
Yeah.
acting.
No, I moved to Bristol, and they had like Bristol's quite a city that's very into their arts and
got everything,
random
yeah.
crap. So
Love a protest.
yeah, they do.
Oh, they love a protest.
Yeah, so I moved to Bristol and just went to circus school, and I learned like trapeze and silks and stuff like that. And
Silks, that's the
shit,
hanging from the
that's-
ceiling.
no, that's far
the
too high for me.
curtains.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's scary.
So, how long were you in the circus for then?
Not that long. I finished when I was about 22, I think. I had glandular fever, and then I got diagnosed with chronic fatigue, and it meant that realistically I needed to give my body a rest.
Yeah.
Right.
So I decided to move back to Bridgewater, and that's when I got my lorry license. Oh yeah, I can't do the splits anymore.
I've never been able to
I
do
could
the
never do them in the
splits.
first place.
That's something I always get asked. Can you do the splits?
So was it with a sort of travelling circus? Obviously, or was it a travelling circus?
No, I went to circus school, and I could have joined a travelling circus. That was my plan, to do a year with a travelling circus.
Right.
Although the money is shit with travelling
Is it?
circuses. Yeah, the money's not good anyway. But
So you were going to do it for the experience more than anything?
yeah, and so I wanted to do like more corporate stuff. So like doing nightclubs and stuff like that.
Or, oh yeah, I've been to nightclubs where I've seen women doing
Yeah.
the silks and that.
So you get more money from doing corporate stuff because it's one-off gigs and you can charge what you want to charge rather than, say, a travelling circus. You might get the same money for the whole week that you would for one gig in a club.
Right, so you're kind of thinking of it as a stepping stone almost to get your experience in and then move on from there.
Yeah.
So from there, what made you get your lorry ticket?
Well,
Because that's quite a change, isn't
I
it?
was just going to say, it's
from circus to lorries.
acrobat gymnastics and working the silks and whatnot to I'll just go and do my class 1.
That's
But
like
then-
2 and 2 equals 7.
you think I grew up in Bridgewater with Carnival. Like, you've got that, like, artistic sort of performance element. But someone's got to drive those carts. And I used to look at those carts and think, I want to drive that one day. And I think the moment that I really wanted to drive a Carnival cart was in 1999. And it was we did Rio, Brazil. And I can remember seeing the cart coming down the road. And I was like, I want to drive that.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, basically, it was the first lorry to ever be in Carnival. Because everything before that was pulled by tractors.
Yeah.
And my dad was the person who engineered the first lorry in Carnival. So it caught my eye. You know, it was a massive thing. Like, everyone was talking about it. And, like, my dad's a HGV mechanic. He's not a showy person. He's not out there. And he just wanted to do it because he loves HGV mechanics. So I think that love for it stems from him.
And was he involved in the carnival as well?
Yeah, he's been in Carnival all his life. Probably at the start, he went on stage for a couple of years, but he could never make the photos because he was too drunk. And I mean, if you met him, he's not a steady mechanic, is he? He's got the shakes massively because he used to drink too much when he was younger. So if he's trying to do something intricate, he's there with his hand and he's shaking away and.
But they get there in the end.
Yeah, but he's one of those mechanics that, you know, all his tools are old or they've been modified to make the job easier for him. And
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
yeah.
So the 1999 float, was it based on a rigid or was it towed by a tractor unit?
It was a tractor unit. It's the same tractor unit that actually we use now. So, 22 years on this year, that tractor unit's still going.
Still being...
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was old when they got it. It's a H-Reg. It is also an
yeah, she's a
Iveco.
queen. Oh,
But
fuck's sake.
we won't talk too much about that.
Queen Bee would be fuming.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is something to drive. Like they've moved the seat position from like the right hand side down to the middle.
Okay.
So basically, they haven't moved the gear stick and the handbrake. So it's up on your right hand side. So you're basically driving a left hand drive vehicle in some respects, but it's quite high because you've been moved down as well.
Oh, so you're shifting up here, like.
Yeah, and it's an Eaton twin splitter as well, which it's quite hard to drive.
I should say. So sorry, I missed that. How old is the unit?
It's a H-Reg.
Oh yeah, so that's old school.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's no AdBlue in that beast.
No.
No,
but
nothing. No EGRs, no DPFs. You shove them out your fucking ass.
But after the first year, I drove and I was so cold because obviously it's November and now everything's changed to LED bulbs. You can't get the warmth from the bulbs and stuff like that. I did buy a heated seat on eBay and got my dad to put it in for me.
Okay, you got to have these creature comforts, you know.
I just couldn't stick it. It's so cold. I think the worst bit. Can you remember a Glastonbury Carnival? Must have been back 6 or 7 years ago, and it absolutely pelted it down with rain, and it was horrible weather. I had to drive it from Glastonbury back to Bridgewater in that weather.
Oh, shit.
Thunder, lightning, sideways rain. I had no windscreen or anything, and I was like, nah, I can't do this without like some sort of heating.
Yeah.
So when you obviously I assume you performed on Carnival floats before you went to driving them.
No.
Really?
I gave myself the rule. Well, one, when I was younger, girls weren't allowed to go on cart because it was only men and stuff like that. So maybe partly my decision to wanting to drive the Carnival cart was the fact that, oh my God, I could actually go on a Carnival cart if I drive it.
Oh, wow.
But over the years, they decided to let women be members and then go on cart. And I was like, I am not going on cart until I drive it. That was my rule to myself because I thought if I don't give myself that rule, maybe I'll go on cart, perform and really like it. So then I won't get to drive it.
Yeah.
Ah, that makes sense. At 14, was it? You say this was at 14. You thought,
Yeah.
that's quite incredibly logical and very level-headed for a 14-year-old. I was a fucking idiot at 14. I can tell you that right now. I wouldn't have sort of gone through that thought process back then.
Yeah, but what do I miss out on? I really didn't think it through. What do I miss out on if I drive a massive vehicle? What is Carnival, basically? It's a big drinking session.
Yeah, it's a big piss up, innit?
So I miss out massively on the drinking session. So Ryan has to make up my half.
I'm sure he can accommodate that somewhere.
Honestly, I get sent Snapchats of him like pouring pints down road cones and
A man of culture in our midst.
oh dear.
So I'm drinking for two.
Yeah, he is literally.
So obviously that's what made you. Well, that's why you wanted to go through your class one. You went. Did you do your class 2 first, or I suppose you had to back then? It's
Yes.
It's only now that you can do your class 1
But
first,
I
isn't
did
it?
miss out on the whole CPC thing.
Ah, happy days.
Very much so.
Yeah, I was going to say we've been speaking about that a lot, obviously on and off the podcast, what with recent things going on and whatnot. So when you obviously got your class 1 just to drive the Carnival float, and was it after that you realised, I can actually
like driving it.
I can actually go out and drive a lorry and make some money with this.
Yeah, well, it was my class 2 first. I took my class 2 first and I got a job at Wiseman's and I drove that for quite some time and I got my class 1 and they weren't able to let me use it very often. So that's when I went to Wayne's.
So you were at Wiseman's on the dairy side of things? Driving the milk tankers?
Yeah, driving the milk tankers. I used to collect milk from farms. And then, I was there for about 8 years. So I was there for quite some time. And it was a lovely job, going out and speaking to farmers and...
But, sorry to interrupt, but you say it's a lovely job, but I mean, I see those buggers around at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock. That's hard hours. I know a lot of lorry drivers do hard hours, but especially with tanker driving, it's rarely in social hours, is it?
No, well, I started on night, so I'd work from... 5 till 3 in the morning. And then I got a job on days, which was 7 till 5, which is actually quite good hours.
Yeah.
But what you got to remember with milk tankers is that you've got to pick it up between the milking hours.
Yep.
So if they finish milking about 7-ish, like you can't pick it up till then anyway. And they're going to be wanting to milk again at like 3-4 o'clock. So you need to have picked up your last collection by 3-4 o'clock. So actually, milk tanker driving is pretty good hours.
Oh, that surprises me. So what made you leave and go to your current job, Wayne's?
I just wanted more Arctic work. I wanted to go further. I wanted to try tramping. I was told that, you know, tramping isn't worth doing, and I was almost sort of scaremongered into thinking, oh, you know, tramping is like horrible. And I did my first night out and I was like, is that it? You know, it's like camping.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen,
not hard, is it?
having been to a few truck shows, we have seen the interiors of some of these lorries, and
Yeah.
it is not like
And
camping.
we've slept in the body.
And we slept in the body.
Have you?
Yeah, we slept in the body of Snaker's Tipper at Devon.
Oh.
So yeah, we've seen the rough side of it. But not to put words in your mouth, but obviously being a woman, obviously in a vastly male-dominated industry, was that part of the you won't be able to stick that, you won't be able to deal with that tramping, or
I don't know. Not to start with, like where I was before, they were just people who wanted day work.
yeah,
They wanted to be home every
The
night.
easy,
and
nice cream.
Yeah. And, well, when I first started on nights, after about 3 months, they all said to me, round having a cup of tea, they said, I think we owe you an apology. And I was like, oh, right, what's that? Well, we've all been slagging you off because we didn't think you'd stick it.
really.
But honestly, they were the nicest bunch of people. And
That's fairly big of them to admit that as well.
yeah. And after that, like literally, I was never treated as a female driver. I was just treated as a driver, which was nice. So I don't know. I don't think there's a massive problem. Like if you're good at your job, people would just see you as a driver.
Yeah.
And even now, like with Wayne's, there'd be some people that would go up to like my colleagues and go, oh, what's it like working with her? And they'd be like, well, she runs rings round us, you know. Not that I do the same job. But they're like,
They'll back you
why
up.
even ask that? You know,
Yeah.
they just see
Well,
me as
it's-
a driver.
The society we live in.
It is,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I mean, we've spoken to Queen Bee, we've spoken to Hannah, and we understand that there is not as much nowadays from what I can pick up, but there still is that element within the transport industry of, women in transport. It's, you get that. It's almost like a stigma around it, isn't there? If you know what I mean.
But it's only the minority. It is such a small minority.
But the
that will-
minorities have got the loudest voices, haven't they? That's the
Yeah,
problem.
sometimes. Yeah. They make themselves heard, I guess, but realistically, most people treat you with respect, and I think it's the very older ones and the very younger ones you get the most problems with.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So I wouldn't expect that from the younger ones.
No, I wouldn't either.
I think it's more competitiveness.
Oh, 'cause
you know,
you-
like that male.
Dick swinging.
But even like the younger males would have problems with other younger males because they're all competitive.
Yeah.
And especially because obviously you've been in the game a lot longer and you know a lot more than they do.
Yeah.
They don't want to be. I mean, I know a lot of blokes. I don't give a shit, but I know a lot of blokes up there don't like being shown up by a woman. So when but
It's an ego thing, though, isn't it? And I can accept
is.
that.
It absolutely is, and I think it's great that you can see that as well, and not just see it as men are fucking idiots, which we are absolutely. Don't get me wrong.
Most of the time.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I think like since I've been in a male-dominated industry, I understand the banter a bit more. It's almost a competition of who can be the crudest or who can be the worst, or it's
Yeah.
not necessarily real. It's just a competition,
it's just
isn't
a
it?
load of bullshit.
Have you become hardened to it over the years then?
Oh yeah, massively. Like I don't worry about it at all. Like the other day, we're in the yard and there's a new lad or he's not new, but he's new to blowing. He needed to learn about the blower trailer. So there's two of the lads in the yard and they're down there whispering to each other, like giggling. And I thought, what are they doing? Next thing, here, JEM, Simon wants you to teach him how to blow.
They've been giggling about that
Yeah.
joke for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? God's sake. So, your current job for
Yep.
Wayne's.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, what you haul.
I haul mainly grain, and we do a bit of aggregate in between. It's tipper driving. Sometimes it's tailboard tip, and sometimes it's on a pit tip, and it could take like 5 minutes to tip, or it could take hour to tip. It's one of those things. But a lot of the time I'm going to farms, picking up grain, and that's the bit I really enjoy. You go out to farms in the middle of nowhere, and all right, it's tight and narrow, and like we take our trucks to truck shows, so you get a branch scrape down the side of it, and you go,
Oh, Mama, no.
but you get the scenery at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
And
not all motorways. You get to see the countryside and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. And you get to speak to like real down to earth sort of farmer people as well, which it's like quite refreshing.
I imagine you've seen a huge change in the farming industry over the last...
Massively.
Yeah.
It's changed from like small family farms to like bigger sort of industrial sort of
Corporate
farms.
sort of things.
Yeah, and like I can remember when I was on the milk, and there was this farmer, like sometimes you pick 200 litres up from him, sometimes you pick 700 litres up from him, but it'd only be because he didn't know if he could be bothered to go out and milk. So sometimes like, you get out there and he'd be halfway through because he was an hour later getting out there.
He's
And,
got a bit of a hangover. He had a long
Yeah.
lunch.
He'd be all right, Shag.
yeah, and I went out there one day and he said, "Oh, really sorry, there's no milk to pick up." He went, "I've been out on the combine all day and I've been doing this and doing that." I went, "Oh, don't worry about it. No problem. We'll sort it out tomorrow." He went, "Well, to tell you the truth, I was there watching the football and my wife said you better get out and start milking, ain't you?"
No!
Yeah.
proper
There's
local
people like
farm.
him that aren't going anymore, and it's such a shame.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's dying out nowadays.
Yeah.
With everything being so large and it's got to be so efficient. There's
Yeah.
not so many of these smaller family farms knocking
That's it,
around.
because there's no money in it.
No, and it's sad, but it is true. With ever rising costs, it's a what do they call it? It's a something. It's like an industry of scale, isn't it? If you're not big enough, you won't survive because if
No.
you need to buy like so it's the same as buying diesel. If you want to buy diesel in bulk, buying 2,000 litres will get you this price, but buying 10,000 litres is going to get you this price.
So I
Yeah,
got two
exactly.
ISBs in the back now.
You haven't.
No, I haven't.
I was going to say you were.
just fucking one.
Don't.
You are.
Oh, you're terrible for it. But yeah. So, what was it like starting out there? How did you find yourself with Wayne's?
Yeah, all right. I started off in a man, which was lovely, obviously.
Is that? Do I detect a little bit of hint of lorry snobbery there?
Yeah, a little. But saying
Deep voice to
that,
be cussing.
Yeah.
What has he said? Don't knock it until you've been inside a man.
to be fair, I didn't have like a high spec man, whereas like you get some people, and that if it's top spec,
It's
it
a
will
nice lorry.
be
There
quite
are some
good.
really nice stuff.
Yeah,
out
and
there.
there's a limited edition coming out soon, or it's out now, I think. And we're getting one in November, I think. And one of the drivers is having that. He's a bit of a different sort of driver. He always likes to be different anyway.
Yeah.
There's always one.
Yeah, but
Me.
he's pretty cool. He's a good drinker.
That's how I rate my fellow lorry drivers. He can drink well. He's a shandy man and a bitch.
Yeah, well, he's an instigator of the drinking as well, so quite a good chap, really.
He's the twisted fire starter.
But he's getting one of these limited edition ones, so it'd be quite interesting to see how that turns out.
What's the difference with that limited edition one? Do you know?
It's just like top spec. It's the best
It's got
spec that they
everything
do.
fully loaded.
Yeah,
It's fully loaded as standard.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong. I think that every lorry that's out there at the moment deserves to be out there.
Every lorry has its place, I think.
Exactly, and if you can afford to buy,
Usually the Ivecos are on the scrap pile.
Oh,
yeah, but that
sucking up the queen bee.
that S-Line that they've brought out, that does look pretty smart, to be fair. I don't know what it's like to drive, but it looks
What's the...
very similar to the Scania.
I can't remember the new gen DAFs they've brought out. You seen those ones? I saw some pictures of them on Instagram. I thought they looked really smart. Really smart.
I think everything's starting to look quite similar.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, they put
It's
them in
the
the
same
air
as cars,
tunnel
isn't
and,
it?
I was just about
it's
to
all
say.
going to come the same eventually, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
the same as cars. Remember
Yeah.
back in the 90s, or what you used to call a convertible Skoda, a skip? But now Skodas, obviously they're owned by VW, but Christ, some of the cars that those VRSs are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd happily be seen in a Skoda as I would do a VW.
Yeah, I think car snobbery's kind of going slightly.
It is kind of going.
You
and
see
there's-
the pricks in the Range Rovers, like, and you
they're
just go,
they're
they're
just
pricks.
they're assholes. I mean,
and then
they're,
you see everyone in like your VWs and your Skodas and stuff. You're like, well, they're normal people.
yeah. I think that there isn't really that much brand snobbery in cars anymore, apart from obviously your sort of super.
Obviously, your
higher-
Ladas, your Tatas,
Yeah,
they're
and
still down the bottom of the pile.
Sangyong and Dacia.
That they are like cheap budget shit.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the industry and how it's changed since you started driving, or even what you've observed it before you were driving.
Probably how hard it was to get a job to start with, and now at the moment with this driver shortage, apparently everyone who's got a license that wants to drive can just walk into a job and get it, and some of them are absolutely shit drivers. And
I can imagine.
the last probably 6 months I've been driving around and I've thought that truck driver should not be on the road.
And what you
Yeah.
put on Instagram the other day did make me laugh. What
What was that?
It was the free class 1 at the bottom of every Lucky Charms box.
But it literally is.
Yeah, it is. You hit the nail on
if
the
there
head.
was an abundance of drivers, those bad drivers would not get a job.
No.
Because they'd have had a job before, they'd have had their references checked, and they wouldn't get the job.
I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
that there are enough of those out there that you can see and just think, oh, God, what on earth are they doing? But,
Yeah.
So, from when you started to where we are now within the industry, have you seen it? Has it gotten worse?
I think
Or is it-
things like parking, like overnight parking, you used to be able to park in most industrial estates. But now a lot of places are double yellow lines, so you can't park there overnight. Services are getting so busy now that people are ending up parking out on the hard shoulder, on the slip road and stuff like that. And it seems like hard work, like it's bad enough that you've got your driver's hours and stuff like that. In
And
any
you're
other
staying away
job,
from home.
yeah. But in any other job, if you stayed on 5 minutes into your break, like if you're a nurse or a teacher or something like that, to get like somebody medicated or teach a class, you would be seen as a very, very good worker. You stay on 5 minutes on a truck to get the job done and you get fined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was speaking with Snaker about this backlog. I didn't realise how harsh it was with your tacho brakes. It is a matter of like a few seconds over, and who was it who was saying they can download from? But it was Jamie.
Yeah,
was
I
it
got
Jamie?
one of them now because I got a new truck.
You can get downloaded from behind you, and if they can see you've been like a minute, 2 minutes over, that's
It's
it.
fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
There's no leeway in it, and
you need leeway because
when you hear
everything's
stories
not
like
predictable.
that, you think people. Why would anyone want to get into the industry with what
No.
you said?
Well, yeah. And like I've been on some roads where I've really needed half an hour break and I've gone down the road and I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere between Southampton and London. And I've gone down that road and there's one lay-by on that whole road for about an hour.
And if it's full, it's full.
And it is always full. So luckily I had just enough time to get to, I think it was like Cobham Services or something like that.
Yeah, shout out Com Services. That's where we got our fuel. That's a big service. That is a big shell
It is,
garage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got there within my time, but for that whole hour, I was
just-
thinking,
You're on
I need
edge,
to get,
thinking,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, literally, and it's so stressful,
Yeah.
and
The
you
roads
end up
aren't
rushing.
predictable.
Yeah, and you end up rushing. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point in making the HGV rush? I don't,
Yeah.
That's exactly not what you want, is it?
Yeah.
You don't want. I don't want something that's 32 tons flying down the road that's looking looking for a lay-by or looking for a services or looking for something, I want them looking at the fucking road. You know, what's in front of them. Me with my indicator on, trying to come into their lane.
There should be an abundance of parking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously in Europe. We've spoken about this before, and it's obviously been mentioned a lot recently that over there, it's not obviously there's a shortage over there, but it's
a completely different scenario.
I'd go as far as to say it's easier for drivers over there. Would you agree?
I've never driven abroad, so I couldn't really say, but from what I've heard, then yes.
Yeah. I mean,
from what I've seen, everything seems to be a lot nicer, a lot better. The truck stops are beautiful over there.
Yeah. We have seen that. Yeah, and the services as well. It's just a shit show, really, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
every time I go in the services with Ryan, he says, "Why is the lorry parking so far away from the services?" Like, they literally cater for the car driver.
Yeah.
And you get into some places and you can't even open your door to get out because the spaces are so narrow.
Right.
It's ridiculous, but, you know.
And then they wonder why we got a lorry shortage.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, as a woman going into... obviously, when you've got your showers for HGV drivers, they actually have like a women's section. I assume they do?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's mixed. But sometimes they'll only have it one side of the services. So you spend your whole half an hour break going like
over
from
the
one
bridge.
side of the services to the other side and getting the key and then going and having your shower, getting the key back, walking back, getting a coffee on the way back. You get into your truck to like have something to eat. And it's like, time's up. You gotta go.
Yeah, because you don't want to be taking any more time off than you have to.
No,
because it's not like if you on your half an hour break, if you take 45, you don't get half an hour on the other end, do you?
No, that's right. And not only that, like I work for a small company. My boss is a really good boss, and I'm really lucky to work for a good company that really respects their drivers.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be hanging around. You want to make the most out of those hours. That's the whole point of your job, is to make the most out of the hours that you have got. So I don't want to be hanging around that extra 10 minutes just so that I can have something to eat.
Yeah.
I think that speaks a lot to yourself as a driver, the fact that you've got the respect for
the boss.
Yeah, but he's got it for us as well. You know, it works both ways, doesn't it? It's a two-way street,
yeah.
And that's obviously why you've been there as long as you have, I assume, because, you know, you are respected as a driver and you're well looked after, I assume. I mean, well, I've seen your trucks, so it speaks volumes. He puts you in nice vehicles, and I've seen it at truck shows, so it's obviously incredibly well looked after.
Yeah, she was clean.
Ever so clean. Not that we know anything about lorries. Still, we just go there. Oh, that's nice.
Shiny, good, dirty, bad.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well,
I didn't see you go around with a paint pot down there. Put it that way.
No, but that's what Ryan's like. Ryan is basically, he could build me a house, but he knew nothing about vehicles at all when he met me. So to start off with, it was just seen a lovely lorry. What was it? Don't know. It's lovely.
1990 ERF light.
It had lights on it. It was ever so smart. I remember when.
Oh, it was red.
When we first met you at Devon Truck Show, and we bumped into you, and I stuck a microphone in your face and asked you what your favourite category on Pornhub was. And I chatted to Ryan, your partner, and I asked him a truck question, and he goes, I'll be honest with you, I fucking hate trucks. I was like, good man. But
so we got one from Queen Bee now.
Right, okay.
What would you change about the industry?
What would I change about the industry? I think the respect you get from the general public. I think that's what I'd want to change.
Yeah. I like that.
Is it... I don't really know how to phrase the question. Is it the attitude of people on the roads? Is it people speaking to you when you're trying to maneuver into somewhere? Or is it just all round how you're viewed?
All round, really. Yeah,
sad,
basically.
really, isn't it?
It is. You know, I know we're a big vehicle. I know we're slower. I know we're a pain in the ass. But without trucks in
We're
the
fucked.
yeah.
Job is fuck drive.
Well, yeah, like years ago, people would live locally. They'd get their fruit and veg from their, local
Greengrocers.
greengrocers and their meat from their local butchers and stuff like that. It's not like that now.
No.
You buy from your supermarket, which is buying in bulk, and to buy in bulk, you need to have that whole infrastructure of trucks.
And a fucking massive amount of them. And that is why there's such a vast amount of them out there. But people don't, obviously people are on the road in their, in their saloons and their business cars and your company cars driving along. And they're thinking, "Oh, I've got a job to do." And you think, "Well, do you think she's driving that for pleasure, or do you think she's popping down the shops in that thing? No,
Just taking the 540 up for like a little bit of bants.
Yeah, just whipping up the spar, go grab myself a packet of fags in the 32-ton beast. Like, no, we're all out here, trying to earn a living. And
I don't know why you're obsessed with the 32-ton bit.
Is it 32?
It's 44.
I'm
isn't
on
it?
44.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, see,
Nonce.
I make it absolutely clear. I know nothing. Well, I know a little bit to get me by, but I don't know about weight.
8-wheelers are 32.
That's why. Yeah.
Right.
See, I knew it was in my brain for a reason.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Marlon. Hashtag fuck Marlon.
We ain't on 8-wheelers tonight, mate. We're 44 tonners.
Oh, I'm sorry. God, crucify me. Why don't you?
Maybe later.
Yeah. Fuck you, man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this half of the podcast. So we good? So we'll roll on, get a guest beer, and
Get a guest beer out.
usually have about 3 more pints in the break, and come back absolutely lit.
Stop telling them the secrets.
Look, a little peek behind the curtain.
Shut up.
Right. Anyway, we love you all, and we shall see you very shortly when we're back with a guest beer. Right.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. What are you?
All right, no, okay, we'll be back. It's fine. We'll be back.
Just spin it off for 50 minutes. Gio. And I've returned from the fridge, but before we get into beer of the week, Marlon, I don't know if you know, but Jem went on a podcast, last month?
Yep, it must have been about last month.
Another podcast, which she neglected to tell us, so I thought we were going to be her first, but obviously not. So, Marlon, Jem went on a podcast, and there was a little clip. I listened to the podcast today, and there's a little clip that I wanted to play you from it, which I think you might find quite amusing. Okay, ready? I'll make sure they are. So check volume's turned up, which it is. Okay, right, ready?
While you're away on your holiday, will you be listening to podcasts? Do you follow any regularly?
There's a few that I follow. There's one that's quite different to yours, called In the Doghouse, that it's more like pirate radio.
Pirate radio!
Truckers and tractor drivers. And
Well, how would you describe it?
Oh no! I thought when I heard that, when I started it, it was like 1 minute in, and it was like, "Oh, you guy, you'll be packing for your holiday and all this." And he said, "We listen to any other podcast?" And I thought, "Cough! I get a shout out here. I'm gonna be over the moon." I don't know if this other
Nigga,
podcast,
we famous.
and it was a little pause. You went, "I don't know this other podcast. It's called In the Doghouse." It's kind of like it's very different to yours. It's kind of like pirate radio. So yeah, we are the pirates. We are absolutely. It is like pirate radio. It's a perfect description of it, because this is what pirate radio used to be like. Just you'd say whatever you like. You could talk about whatever you like, swear, cuss, all the stuff you couldn't do on the normal airwaves, and that's what podcasting has become. So Marlon, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, pirate radio.
Pirate radio. Shall I message him now on Instagram? Just DM him and just say we are the pirates here, giving you a booty.
What was his podcast called?
It's the
Somerset Stories.
Somerset Stories.
Shout out
yeah.
Somerset Stories.
I'm actually going to DM him now and just put, here. We are the pirates. So,
Right, anyway.
I'm going to wait for that response in a minute.
So, Reg, what's the beer of the week?
Beer of the week is rum. No, I'm joking. So, beer of the week.
Blank.
Beer of the week, I believe, who brought this?
Titch.
Titch brought this. Shout out again to Titch. Thank you, my friend.
You're
This
a cunt. I still Hashtag fuck Titch.
Yeah, I still won't forget. You seen the letter? That's the actual letter that he gave us.
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
was so good.
Do you-
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
We were dying inside.
I can imagine when you opened it, it was like, oh my god, this is the end.
It
and-
was literally Job's fuck drive.
We were.
It was clever though. It was
Yeah.
very clever. It was
Yeah.
a clever prank.
Yeah, it was. I'll give him that. It was very clever and very well thought out. Because the worst part was, it actually came in an envelope, and he put a stamp on it, and he put like a little squiggle on the stamp, so it actually looked like it had been franked, and it was to my address. And Dole came in with it. She's like, "Oh, you got some post, by the way. I forgot to give it to you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't like things I don't expect." It's like, the usual post, you get
Yeah.
a credit card statement, all that crap. And that thing just didn't look right. And I was like, "Oh no!" You're like, "What is it? What is it?" I was like, "It ain't good, son. It ain't good." But yeah. Anyway, right. So beer of the week. Thank you, Titch, but not thank you, Titch. But
Fuck
whatever.
Titch.
So.
So,
It's another brand of what we've had on before. It's Sierra Nevada Pale
do you
Ale.
like that?
What do we have on? We just had
fantastic.
it was just called Sierra Nevada IPA, wasn't it? I believe
Yeah.
in the blue can. So yeah, I think that's all there is to say about that. For without any further ado, Marlon, can you read the marketing bullshit, please?
So basically on the back it says Pale Ale, Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, Chico, CA, and Mills River, NC, USA.
So
This
so
American-
where's that? That's California and NC, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
This American craft beer is a living product, best stored cold and enjoyed when fresh.
what's my favorite bit? It says at the bottom underneath handcrafted ale.
Family owned, operated, and argued over.
I love that. I really enjoy that bit. Right, so let's
that
see.
was some shit marketing bullshit.
I really like it because it's just short and sharp.
Yeah, but I don't know what's in it.
It's 5.6%. It's very strong. Right, what do you think then? Cool. Wow. That's that's strong.
I like that.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's like it's I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it a bit more. I'll bang a snorkel on it and give my true thoughts on it. Marlon, what you saying? There's a lot of drinking, not a lot of talking.
I like that.
You do?
Yeah, to be fair, anything made by Sierra Nevada, I'm a fan of, I think.
Yeah, I always have been, but I'm not as sold on that one. Usually I'm the guy that you can depend on, just be like, yeah, I love it all, it's great, just give it a thumbs up. But I don't know, it's not.
It's drinkable, it's not sessionable.
It's fine. No, it's not sessionable at all. It's fucking strong. Jem, what do you think?
Well, to be honest, I'm not a lager beer ale drinker, but if that was the only thing on offer, I would drink it.
Really?
That's it, it's not too bad, it's drinkable.
Yeah, we got a thumbs up from Ryan as well. Ryan's here, obviously Jem's partner. Yeah, we got sort of thumbs up on that side of the table. Marlon,
So,
you like it?
yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It's not really. No, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know why I'm saying no. It's
Because the amount of shit you've drank and given good reviews.
yeah. There's not really many flavors going on there other than the barley
You
and the
don't need
hops.
too many flavours.
I'm a man of flavor. Yeah, no, it's not really anything else to it. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really say that there's any other shit in there apart from just as purest ingredients, finest quality. So it's not to my taste. I can appreciate that if that's what you're after, that's what you're after. It probably does a very good job at it. But my TripAdvisor rating is 2 out of 5.
Wow, that's bad.
It's personal preference, isn't it? You know. If you like citrusy shit, come to me for the rating. But this is not what I think.
I think I'm a
Jim's
4.
guts in it into her now. Come on,
Well, I haven't got that far down it, but have you ever been to the health food store in Glastonbury?
we try and tend to stay away from Glastonbury, myself and Marlon, because of the great unwashed. Dreadlocks, pink hair, placards and that kind of crap.
But they sell like loads of stuff that's supposed to be really, really good for you. Mm-hmm. I've tasted worse in there.
I've smelt worse in there.
So your TripAdvisor rating?
I would say a 2, but Ryan's saying a 4, but he is an ale drinker.
That's it, I'm a solid 4 here now.
Right, so given that's an average of 3 then overall I'm sorry for bringing a TripAdvisor rating down, Sierra Nevada, but it's just not my kind of drink. Well, that was quite interesting.
So Sierra Nevada, if you want a brand deal, just hook us up.
Yeah, just hook up Marlon, not me. Imagine if you got sponsored alone and not me. Yeah, it'd be well gutted after all this time I've been grinding. I've just scrolled back through my phone, just seen "Here We Are the Pirates" to Somerset Stories. I hope he laughs when he opens that. Doesn't see it as like some sort of challenge. Right? Okay.
Yeah, because he won't win.
Just before we got back into it, Jem was just about to tell us a story, and I cut her off because I was like, "Please don't tell me now. Please tell the podcast. Please tell all the listeners, and not just me." So we mentioned that this beer's from America, and you said that you went out to America and kind of did some trucking. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago now. I met this girl on Instagram. We started chatting, and she's a trucker in America, and she said, "Oh, why don't you come over and see what it's actually like over here?" And I said, "Well, yeah, of course I will.
What an opportunity.
Love to. And you can come over and see what it's like over here." So I went over there, and it was absolutely brilliant. She's got a Peterbilt, and she does flatbed work, and yeah, literally, her truck is outstanding. I think it's a 1995 truck she's got, if I remember rightly. So like they really look after their trucks.
Yeah.
They like last forever. And I went out with her in the truck for a couple of days, and she took me to a circus. She took me to a strip club. She took me out for steak.
So how was the strip club?
You had the full American
Strange.
experience.
Oh yeah, like literally, I was sat there looking at these girls like stripping on stage, and one of them did a headstand in my lap, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" Like I just didn't know what to do. I just froze.
If you could give us the state, city, and zip code for this strip bar, that'd be much appreciated.
It's in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Where's that? That's
Sort of middle-ish.
Yeah.
Is it East Coast or is it in the middle? I can't think of
I think
Kind
it's
of
off-
middle-ish.
yeah, it's
like
it's
not far
off
from
to
New
the
York,
right.
sort of.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
Coastal.
I kind of think I know what you're on about. Yeah.
And she took me. There's one night we went out for steak, and she got the staff to sing me happy birthday, even though it wasn't my birthday.
Oh, we've all been stitched up in
happens a
TGI
lot.
Fridays with that one, haven't we?
Yeah, and then we went to the strip club, and then we went illegal streetcar racing.
Oh,
And she
go
was,
on.
it was literally like we turned up to this streetcar race, and she was like, "If the police come, just run to my car." And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in a foreign country. Like literally, this could go so badly."
You just if you get stopped by the police, or you get arrested. Well, I'm ever so sorry. I'm from England. I'm just going along with the flow.
Just looking for the cups of tea.
But it was just like the whole night was brilliant. Like from the state to the strip club to the illegal streetcar racing, it was like America. Like proper America in
you
a
had
can,
America in the
Yeah.
most condensed form.
yeah,
Freedom.
So how long were you out there for?
only a week, but literally I'd done so much in that week. I came back to England and I was so tired.
I bet you were. I bet it sounds like an assault on the senses.
It was literally like we went to truck shows and we went to the beach, and then she found like her mate that had a boat, and we went out on a boat for Independence Day. I was out there for July the 4th.
Oh,
It was
wow.
just absolutely mental the whole week. But she hasn't come over yet to see me. I keep begging her to come over to England, and she hasn't yet. And obviously COVID's happened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how can I compete with that?
Yeah.
Like, what can I do?
It's going to have to be truck show weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be.
But even
Bring her
that's
down,
not enough.
Devon.
Like, what can I do?
Yeah. We're
Bring
gonna
her here?
Take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, yeah, the
we do
office
it.
always open.
We do a podcast.
You imagine it.
She's
Well, this
hilarious
is
as
Cobham
well.
Services.
We ain't got no fuel though.
Yeah, no, that's it. So, what was trucking like out there?
It's mad. Like, they don't even go to fuel stations. Someone comes around and fuels up their trucks for them. There's no roundabouts. I've
No, it's
seen
all-
one roundabout the whole time I was there.
intersections.
Yeah. They just tank along at whatever miles an hour. truck show wise, you could have two vehicles 20 years apart and they'd look identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Peterbilts, am I right in saying, haven't really changed?
Yeah, all the Kenworths,
Yeah.
anything over there, they just stay the same. It's mental.
There's no emissions, is there, over there?
There is
Oh.
now.
There, not on the. I don't expect on the older stuff
No.
like that. There is.
The older stuff really hasn't changed. Like, as Jem said, like the 20 years apart, literally, they look the same. They've just got different engines in.
I love how you're giving us the rundown on this yeehaw Marlon.
I know.
I know so much about America.
But it's absolutely mental. Like, there was a truck that I went in out there and it was the same age as me. And it's still running, like, it's
Yeah.
still a working truck. Like, you just would not get that over here.
No. You can't. Emissions wise.
Am I right in saying in all these trucks, it's all walnut wood, analog gauges, button back door cards.
Oh, yeah.
The whole lot. They got
Yeah.
big,
Real deal.
fair size sleeper cabs on them as well, don't they?
Yeah, well, she didn't have a sleeper, but the actual cab inside, like where you actually drive and stuff, it's quite small. Like, it's like a van. But then you have, like, if you have a sleeper cab, you have that bit on the back.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, it's like space efficient and, you know, you've got everything's in one and everything's like worked out so everything's space
It is,
efficient
yeah,
and you
so-
can fit it through narrow streets and stuff like that. There's just like long.
Yeah,
and-
there is no narrow streets.
No, there is no narrow streets
You
over there.
can literally haul what you fucking want up to nearly whatever weight you want.
It is
You
free.
get like your power stroke, like your 6.7.
What's power stroke? What?
It's a Ford diesel engine. Sorry.
Right.
You get them, and it's a pickup, and you can tug whatever you want along. You can, if you wanted to, 3-car trailer.
Really?
Yeah,
I like a full road train type
Yeah.
job. That's nuts. Is the
on a pickup, just using a fifth wheel.
But yeah, it sounds incredible.
Yeah, it was a unique experience to go out with somebody who actually is from America. You know, like when you go touristing and you only see the tourist side.
You see
Yeah.
what they want you to see
Yeah.
in the tourist part.
But I actually got to see
The real
America
Everything.
from an American point of view.
I thought- So
Yeah.
So what is the plan when you eventually bring her over to the UK?
I don't know, because I'm thinking, what time of year is she going to come across? Like,
Right.
you know, if it's November, like Carnival, I could take her on a Carnival night. I mean, that can be pretty
I'm gonna
wild
say
at
that-
times, but
But in the same time, getting her in the passenger seat of a Scania, I bet she would be, because I don't expect these in the Kentworths or Peterbilts, they have microwaves, freezers,
No.
fridges.
no, it'd be quite different.
That would, I think they probably think, oh, the roads are shit and you get
And the
treated like
majority of
shit.
them are
But
still
the
Manuels.
Yeah, and the lorries are like, wow. Because they have no Euro stuff over there at all, do they? There's no, I don't expect there's any Scanias, DAFs or...
Oh, no, nothing
No,
like
no.
that. But I think they're very much like, they know what they know. So the best over there is what they think's the best. And I guess that's the same for over in Europe. Is like, we have our 770s or, you know, Volvos, 750s and stuff like that. And we think that's the best of the best. But that's to us.
Yeah.
So being able to be open-minded enough to see what they see or they see what we see and compare,
Yeah.
it is quite hard really when you're used to what you're used to.
Yeah, I think it's great to be able to see stuff like that. I mean, have you been to Lopik or Assen?
No, I would like to go to Assen. We did say we'd plan a trip over there, didn't we?
We have been invited over to Assen next year.
Have we?
Yeah.
With who?
I won't say it now.
Oh, cool. I didn't
But,
know that.
yeah.
I was meant to go to, is it Cerny? What's the one in Belgium? There's one in Belgium.
Cine. There's
That's it,
Cine.
Cine. Yeah. I was meant to go to that one, but obviously got cancelled due to COVID. And that was before we started the podcast, actually.
Well, I think I'd like to do Assen to Assen for a couple of days and then do like a week of recovery, like on
Oh,
a beach or something.
Yeah.
So I think you would actually need it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard stories of what goes on over there, and they can drink, put it that way, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Lorries. Obviously, you have recently upgraded.
Yep.
So you're in the 500S now, am I right?
Yeah.
And then the next gen, new gen, whatever you want to call it. And you were
Yeah.
in the R490?
I was in the R490 before, yes.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the R490 first.
I was so reluctant to give that truck up.
Well, I mean, we've watched the build of it
Yeah.
on Instagram and through your reels and through your social media. A hell of a machine. Obviously, we saw it at the Devon Truck
What
Show
a
as well.
machine.
What a machine. I want to drive the teacup. So, yeah, the R490, what was it like when you first got it? Before you got your hands on it?
The first time I drove it, I knew it was perfect. Honestly, that truck, I could drive another 15 plate Scania and it would not be the same as that one. It literally flew. Like,
Was it one of those trucks that something was a little bit wrong with it and you never really wanted to take it in a Scania in case that they found out what was wrong with it and made it go slower? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It was called The Perfect Storm. It had The Perfect Storm, the film, on the back, but it was literally like lightning. If something came up in my right-hand mirror overtaking me, it was to the point where, what is that? You know, who is that? You know, and then you'd think, oh, it's all right, it's one of the Irish boys, I can't compete with that.
Limited to what?
It was limited legally, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But somehow it was just so quick. I don't know what had happened with it, or I was just lucky to have it.
Shimoto?
Semi, so it had a clutch pedal, which was a bit annoying because, in my opinion, you want manual or automatic. Somewhere in between is just pointless.
Yeah, like your mechatronic Fiat gearbox.
Yeah.
It's a
Bullshit.
Yeah, but no, it was you get used to it. Whatever you drive, you get used to it. And it was a lovely truck to drive, and it had been looked after by the previous driver. He had had it for five and a half years, and I think it is kind of important to trucks. If they've been looked after, it goes a lot for them. You know,
completely. Oh, it's the same as cars, isn't it?
yeah. Like, if that truck had been passed from driver to driver and not been looked after, it would not have stayed like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for somebody having something for an extended period of time and that being their truck, and that's where they are. It's that, like you say, being passed from one driver to another. Oh, well, I'm only going to be in this for a couple of months. I don't give a fucking shit about it. I'm not going to give a shit about it, but, you know, they won't take the boots off getting in, or they'll catch their foot on the top step kind of thing, wear that bit of paint away, you know, that kind of attitude to things.
But that truck, for a 6.5-year-old truck, it is immaculate. Absolutely immaculate. And I was sad to give it up. But
The new one.
I was offered an S500, and I knew that was 6.5 years old. And at that age of a truck, you know, you're going to be going into Scania more for repairs and, you know, and mainly just wear and tear stuff like pipes that have gone, or, you know, stuff like that. I thought, I'm being offered a very good truck. You know, there's only, one V8 on the company. There's one other S cab on the company. So if I don't take that truck and I miss out on it, I'm not going to get anything like that again.
No.
Oh, so it's a matter of you don't think they'll go on buying any more V8s from there.
They won't buy any more V8s.
Oh, so it was take this or you'll constantly be in a
The
six-banger.
reason they had a V8 was because that was given to the boss's son.
Oh, I see.
So, and to be fair, I completely understand not buying V8s. Like, it is, all right, it's lovely to drive, and, you know, it
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it might make a bit of progress up a hill, you know, but at the end of the day, the amount of more money that you'd spend on it when you're just trying to pick up a load and a 500 would do the same, what's the point?
Yeah, I do understand. It is dick measuring rights, but it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn, I love
You know,
that V8.
if you've got the money to chuck at it, then fine. But, you know, at the end of the day.
So,
We do love a V8.
oh god damn, we love a V8. Yeah, if I could have both Range Rovers of V8s, I would. But you know, fuel at the moment is a bit difficult to get fuel in just one.
Oh,
They
could
still
you
haven't
imagine
found
people with
any
V8s at
locally.
the moment?
Hey,
Can you imagine people with V8s at the moment? They'd be like, oh my God.
yeah, me, yeah, that black one. That's why it's been parked on the drive for 2 weeks. Can't fill the fucker up. Yeah, like, you
I
imagine,
still
imagine me
have kind of
taking
feel.
imagine me taking that in a fuel station for 130 quid. It man, the looks I'd get. Oh, don't bear thinking about.
Escort's double its fucking value, mind.
Yeah, 'cause
she's
I
got
don't-
a full tank.
So the R490, what had you done with it, start to finish, customization wise?
What
We got
did I
all
do?
day.
What did I do? I put seat covers in and changed the floor mats, made curtains. Oh, I sorted the headboard out because that had a aluminium plate in
Aluminum.
it. Aluminum plate in it for a while. And I was like, I can't stick that. And when the driver before me gave it up, he said, well, part of the reason why I didn't do it was because the light inside wasn't working. So I had to get the light working inside. And then I had to put different bulbs in to make it super bright. And what else did I do to it? Oh, the Scania badge on the front, the classic Scania badge.
We saw that. Saw you putting
Yeah.
that on. That looked really smart.
Yeah, it did, but it took some working out because I didn't want it to look like it just been stuck on or it was an afterthought or something like that. So I had to make it work with the truck, and I made up 5 templates, and I didn't go with any of them
Yeah.
because I just couldn't work out what was wrong with it. So I needed that bit more time, and then all of a sudden it just came to me that I just had to go with the flow of the truck, with the curvature of the truck, because the 6 Series is quite curved anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if you went for something like on a next gen, it's much more boxy. So you go for something different again.
Proper square.
It's like square with the angles.
It's very angular.
Curved.
I know.
But
I know
not-
what you're
yeah.
saying. Sharper points opposed
Yeah.
to like rounded edges. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a case with you that you park the truck up take it to the workshop and you say, "Oh, I've got this badge. I want this putting on." We've watched like most of your stuff on Instagram. It's very much you're like, right, I'm going to put these lights in this weekend.
That's it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to spray these wheels. Where does that come from? That sort of hands-on aspect. to
Hanging
yourself?
over a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're doing yourself a disservice here because we've seen the stuff you've done. You know, you've stitched all your own upholstery in the truck, and I saw you spraying the wheels before the truck show, and you're fitting all your own lights and whatnot. Where does that sort of come from?
From Carnival, basically. You know, like with Carnival, like costume making, that sewing machine stuff, and you know, like
Oh, don't worry, we do it all the time.
so you learn different skills through Carnival.
Ryan's just saying guts and elastic
Yeah, no,
gas
it's
beer
fine.
into him.
That's fine. Carry on. And then you've got like your light side of things. Lights in Carnival are very important. You know, if I'm going down the road and I know I've got a bulb out, I just hate it. And actually, we went to Blackpool to see the illuminations
Oh,
a couple of weeks ago.
can't wait to go back up there again.
Well, I was quite disappointed actually.
Oh, have they got? No, they haven't got bulbs
You're
out.
counting how many bulbs are out.
Oh yeah.
No.
But the thing is, like with Carnival, they're all boxed in, so it's quite hard to change the bulbs and stuff like that. Like if they push through or something like that, you know, it's really hard to change bulbs. These are just hanging in the air. It's not difficult to change a bulb, is it?
Just get a big fucking ladder out.
Exactly. And I couldn't believe it. So things like that are important to me, and I guess I get that from Carnival. Well, everything really I get from Carnival. Really, driving a truck that's kind of, you know, a show truck to some respects is like driving a Carnival car.
Yeah.
It's having that sort of pride in your own machine, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like with a carnival, you're on show for what? How many carnivals do you do in a year?
7.
7. Whereas your truck's on show 5, 6 days.
24/7.
5, 6 days a week,
Yeah.
or 7 days a week, whatever, constantly. So you constantly want it to be to that standard. So when somebody drives past it and sees you driving it, they're like, "Oh, Christ, she'd look after that truck, then she Christ."
Yeah, it is nice when somebody compliments you on how nice your truck looks. Especially when I had that, like the R490. Someone walked past and said to their wife, "Oh, you wouldn't believe that's a working truck, would you?" And you couldn't get a better compliment than that, could you?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
So, what would be your dream lorry?
That is a hard one because over the years, you know, you would say, oh yeah, you know, a 770 V8 Scania, blah blah blah.
T-cab.
Yeah, but I don't know, any truck that I could make look my own, I guess, that pulls well, I'd be happy with. Like, over Carnival, our spare truck is an ERF, and that is lovely to drive. Absolutely beautiful to drive. And then people ask you, oh, would you prefer a manual or an automatic? And you think, well, automatics are easy. You know,
Yeah.
you can drink your coffee going around a roundabout and stuff like that. But you know, every now and again, it's nice to drive a manual. And I get that with Carnival. So I'm like, well, if I have an automatic all year, then I can drive a manual over Carnival and stuff like that. So it's really hard to say like a dream truck, because if you were put on the spot of you had to buy your own and you had whatever amount of money, you go, well, what would be best for the job I'm doing?
Yeah.
What's
So
the
it
most
changes
suitable for the
with-
job?
Yeah.
Because something that maybe, I don't know, is, you know, top of the trucking wish list might not be suitable for your job.
No.
So it's hard. It is a hard one, really.
Would you say that what you've got now is close to what you sort of
Well, I mean,
envisage to be the dream truck for your job?
yeah, I'm over the moon with that truck. I
And
know.
she is fucking gorgeous as well, especially with the Pirates of the Caribbean shit on, because that is
Yeah.
a little bit of
I
me.
haven't seen that.
Oh.
It's the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
So it's even more like badass, I think, than Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that is cool. I like that. I haven't seen it. I have to look it up,
mate,
man.
like, yeah, she's gorgeous.
I've been doing my
all the
guest-
artwork on there.
I've been doing my guest research. I'm useless at this.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say anything, but
Fuck off, Marlon, you prick. So, what is the plans with the new one then? Have you got anything in the pipeline? You don't have to give too much away. I know everyone's already starting to think about next year's show season.
Well, I've already bought a deep visor from Coles Customs.
I did see that hanging out the side of the Mercedes. I was like, wow.
Yeah, so I need to spray that red and get the lights in. I'm going to put all amber lights in it instead of white lights. And I'm going to put a couple of amber double burners in, change the salt lights to amber. I'm going to light up the artwork on the back. I would like a perimeter kit, but now that we've put an offer in on the house and it's been accepted, then I don't know whether that's affordable.
What's a primer kit?
That's the lights, you know, like around the back. You can get like
Yeah.
the
you
red
know
lights,
nothing,
or
Reg,
you
do
can
you?
get
You don't do any research.
Shut up, Marlon. I'm asking a question.
But I'd love a 3-in-1. So if anyone wants to gift me a 3-in-1 perimeter kit for a next gen, I'm more than happy to take it. But you can get a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1. So that's like lights, brake lights, and indicators.
Oh,
or-
I know what you're on about now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. Yeah, that's one's all the way around the back of the cab. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, all right, Marlon. Look at me like, you don't know shit, Reg. No, I made that quite clear a few times, all right?
I've been researching everyone. I know
Alright.
what's going on with
Okay.
lorry lights.
Okay.
Because I'm also attracted by shiny things.
Yeah, you are. You are like a fucking magpie.
Yeah.
On the same sort of vein as personalization, we got a friend of ours who drives for a firm, and I think they've made it quite clear recently that they don't allow any personalization. Now, he got a written warning for having his nameplate in the front of the window.
I don't agree with that at all. I think with my boss, he lets us do everything within reason. So if you run it past him and go, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's nothing unusual, or you can take it off, he'll be fine. Like, at the end of the day, especially with the inside of the cab as well, like, I know some companies won't even let them change the curtains. And it's
Really?
like, you're living in that box from Monday to Friday. If
Yeah.
you don't have something that's personal to you, that's detrimental on your mental health, surely.
It must be, because otherwise it's just living in a dark grey box, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
You've
Exactly.
You've just got what specs it comes out of the factory with, and that's it. And it's
Yeah.
even, I think the worst part would be if that is that, like most drivers, that lorry is your lorry, and it's your lorry, but you're not allowed to do a damn thing with it.
Yeah, exactly. So you have no respect for the truck, so then you don't really care about it.
It's just another white body, isn't it?
If you're putting lights on, like I've got some of those little yellow lights that go down the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to make me protect my bumper, because if I scrape the bumper on the floor, that's the end of those lights.
Yeah.
So in a way, like everything that you put on, you're protecting your truck like it's your own.
Yeah, you've got skin in the game.
Yeah.
So what goes on the truck, I assume what goes on the truck stays on the truck.
In some respects, there are certain things like you can take off, like say I put that deep visor on. If
Yeah.
I keep the old visor, I can take the deep visor off if I leave and put the standard visor
one
back
that
on.
came with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand in that
But
respect.
things like, you know, double burners or something like that on the front, they're small lights or stalk lights. They don't cost a lot, but you've put a hole in it
Yeah.
Yeah.
to put those
You
lights
can't
on,
take
so
them out.
it's not really appropriate to take it off.
Oh no, I can understand that. Yeah, like you say, if you've made modifications to the lorry to fit something, it's
Yeah.
not coming off again. Once it's
Yeah.
on, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's on, it's gone.
If it's on, it's gone. I know that. I know that saying too well. Right. I think should we go into a few more questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Shall we?
I'll get on then.
Oh,
Our Daisy has asked, how do you keep up your fitness or health?
Oh, with a great struggle. I am really struggling with it at the moment. I'm quite a fitness person, generally. But since I've been trucking and since I've been tramping, I've found it increasingly difficult.
That's basically what she said. Like fast food and burger vans every corner.
I'm quite good with the food from Monday to Thursday. Normally I take food to last me Monday to Thursday. I've got, like I said, like I have got a good boss that provides me with a fridge and a microwave and stuff like that, which most people maybe don't have. But it's like the Friday treat days and stuff like that. And then I'm so tired of a weekend that I don't want to exercise
you
and
don't-
stuff like
yeah.
that. And whereas like when I was on day work, I'd be in the gym 3 nights a week. So it is hard work.
I think that's exactly what Daisy said. When you've got that temptation constantly of, oh, I could just swing in here and grab a burger, or I could just go in the Greasy Spoon up the road, and I know they've got fuel next door, so I'm going in here anyway.
Yeah. Petrol stations are the worst.
Yeah, I bet.
It's just so tempting.
You go in there to pay, go in there with your fuel
Go
card, and
past
you're
the-
walking straight past the hot counter or whatever. It's I can't hold my hands up. I couldn't do it. I'd be the size.
That's why I'm the size I am now.
I am what I am.
Yeah.
Right. So next question. I've got this one. I think you've kind of already answered this, but I was last. Anyway, it comes from _Foxy_156, and it is: does the guests get judged or treated differently for being a female trucker?
Sometimes, yeah, but not by the people that know what I can do and the people that I work with.
Not by the people that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to the point where if their opinion doesn't fucking matter, you just kind of ignore it?
Yeah, and I think one of most people's favourite questions is how long have you been driving? And quite often, you know, if you get a young tan come up to you, oh, nice truck there. How long have you been driving then? And you're like, 12 years. And then they're like, oh, shit, I need to get away from you because you know more than me.
Yeah.
Been driving 12 months. Like.
Next one comes from Keith, and I don't really understand it, but you might do.
What, Toucan Van Damme?
Toucan Van Damme, kudos, Keith. He asks, what is the female equivalent of a convoy cock or a diesel dick?
I don't know.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
I don't really know. He might. I don't know what that. I'm a bit lost on that one. I thought he meant by I've dealt it in what I work with, where you'll have 2 lorries turn up at the same time when really they should have been loaded and left, and the next one should have been loaded after and left. But they'll wait for each other, and they'll go down
turn
it.
up
It drives me mad.
Oh, no, just get on with the job.
Yeah, you're paid to do a job, not sit around waiting.
Yeah, like if you get parked up, like, you know, if you're, say, like we do regular runs from up north down south, and if you happen to end up in the same place and you can go for a cuppa, then all the better. Or there's certain places where we might park up where there might be 2 or 3 of us and we'll go for a pint. But that's the only reason why you'd want to stick with somebody is to go for a pint, surely.
Yeah, on the job. Yeah.
I think when I see one lorry following another on the motorway, like, you know, not bumper to bumper, but in that respect, and I'm just thinking, like, your boss would go mad if he found out you've been sat around waiting just so you could do this for 30 miles or whatever. But
It looks good though.
Hey, it does look good, but does it pay the bills? Probably fucking not.
Yeah,
you know?
probably not.
Yeah.
Depends how quick your truck is, because if you've got a quick truck and somebody else got a slow one, you just want to get on, don't you?
Yeah, that'd be my opinion. I just want to get this done and get home, like, you know what I mean, or get fucking parked up.
Daisy's also got another question. So, it's a funny one.
Right?
Right. Any tips on an emergency nature wee?
Just go.
So, like,
Have your tissues at the ready. I've always got tissues at the ready. Just go. Find a lay-by, go.
nowhere to hide yourself, just go.
Well, with an Arctic, you can go under the trailer, but when I first started driving, I used to hold on, and I kept getting cystitis, which is like a urine infection.
Yeah.
And that comes from basically hanging on and hanging
right,
on.
yeah.
So now I just go.
Right.
It's better than getting cystitis.
Yeah, Daisy, don't hang on.
I can't remember who it's from because I can't find it, but I can remember it. Do you have any advice for any women coming into the transport industry in the way you have?
Have a thick skin and get on with it. Basically.
That's straight down to the fucking point.
that is to the bone and all.
But the thing, I think most girls that are getting into the industry, if you haven't got a thick skin, you are not going to last.
Yeah.
And the same with boys, to be fair. If you haven't got a thick skin, you are not going to last.
It's the same as being a tradie in a way. You know, you get builders, bricklayers, carpenters, and that lot. And I've seen the stick that they give each other on site. When I first started out in my industry, I was given unholy amounts of stick from people that I work with. And you soon realise they didn't mean any of it.
Shit.
Yeah,
No.
they don't mean any of it. It's just the attitude.
It's banter.
It's just constant banter. And when you're young, or when you're young, or when you first join, you think, oh, they must hate me, or I'm no good at this. And no, it's just part of how
It's part of the trade.
It is. Like you say,
Like the apprentices I've had in the past, just rip the piss out of them.
you do torture apprentices and all.
I never said I was a nice person. Ever.
That's a very fair point, Marlon. I appreciate that.
The thing is, you got to get them used to what they're going to put up with for the next 40 years.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, and then you just turn them into you.
As soon as they've got some tickets, like
it's not
everything backs off a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. When they've got the experience and the knowledge, and you haven't got to sit there, pointing things out all the time to them.
This is a caliper. This is a brake pad.
Oh, Marlon. It's been a hard few years in the garage, hasn't it? You are jaded as fuck now. You're like a little Vietnam War veteran rocking in the corner there.
It's just...
I've seen some things, man, and some stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I've been doing this 15 years now, and...
Look at him there.
I've seen some shit, and I've done some things, and
Right, okay. Next question comes from me. I am part of the audience as well. What really boils your piss on the road? If there's one thing...
Tesla drivers. They're useless. Literally. All right, they might have a lot of money. How did they get that money? They're thick. Like, no common sense whatsoever.
What is it about Tesla drivers then?
Well, 1 minute they're overtaking you, then they're pulling, and they're slow down, so you got to overtake them. And
Is that because they got the auto drive on or whatever? Or
I don't know. I have not got a clue. I've never driven one.
Some of them got autopilot, so they literally take their hands off the wheel and the car drives itself. So that might be what it is. I know it's a brave new world that we're living in.
I don't know. They just seem to be like literally the worst drivers on the road. They've taken over from BMW.
Audi and BMWs, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
BMW's not so bad.
I was not expecting that. I was expecting, it's white van men that cut me up, or it's the people that want to like get in at the last minute to get into that junction in front of me.
They fucking electric cunts.
Tesla drive. You lithium bastards, the lot of you.
They are terrible though. I don't know. I'd love to have an electric car, but I can't afford it. So why not?
I'll be honest. Well, the people with electric cars now are fucking laughing at us, aren't they?
Oh, definitely.
At the moment,
yeah. On this fuel crisis, definitely.
yeah.
Not laughing about me when my Nissan Note. 62 to the gallon.
What are these numbers you speak of? I don't understand anything past 20.
She's literally had half a tank for the last week. Haven't moved.
Do you know what's really sad, Marlon? Since I was, excluding the Freelander, since I was 19, I have not had a car that has done more than 20 miles to the gallon.
To be fair,
I have melted more ice caps than the entire aviation industry, all right? I am the cause of the Extinction Rebellion. If they were to trace it back, they'd find me with some shitty old Range Rover just pouring fucking CO2 out the back.
to be fair, it's only because it's a company car.
Oh, I know.
That's the only reason I got it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think the Evo did a solid 12 to the gallon. I think the Colt did like at least 20. The Escort doesn't run, so that does.
The Golf was shit.
Yeah, the Golf was terrible. The bike's fantastic, MPG wise.
Yeah, of course it's going to be. Weighs nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking organ donor. On the subject of which, what do you drive day to day that isn't fucking huge? 44 ton Marlon alone now. What do you drive day to day?
So I've got a Audi A3 Convertible.
Nice.
Oh,
What year is
yeah.
that?
It is a 62 plate.
Diesel?
Diesel, yes.
Is that the...
Is that the 1.6?
Yeah, 1.6.
Why do you I like the 1.6?
Somebody has to.
Oh, fuck off.
Well-
He's so judgmental about cars. Honestly, you couldn't buy a car that he likes.
To be fair, I drive to work and back, and it is a bit of a waste to have a nice car like that I don't get to drive, like, especially over the summer and stuff. I literally drive it to work and home again.
Have you thought about getting like an XR3?
Oh, don't listen to him. Don't listen to
I
him.
have thought about getting a nicer car, but then I thought about getting rid of my car because it's just not practical at all, and getting like a van.
Oh, don't do
Just
it.
to run
Don't do it
run
to
around
yourself.
by yourself.
Don't do it to yourself. Don't.
Commercial insurance is hideous.
The thing is, the moment you do that, will you ever go back to having a car? I've thought to myself, with what I do, I don't have to have any of these cars. I could have a C1 and it would save me a fortune. But do you love the car? That's the question. Do you love the Audi?
It is a lovely car to drive.
That's
She
what you
didn't
did.
answer that straight, did she?
That was a politician's
But-
answer, wasn't it?
Literally, like my dad has just got rid of his running to work and back car because he's now retired, and that was a Peugeot 106, and it was in like
That
that
would have been
greeny
perfect.
colour, but it needed a new radiator.
That's
fine.
But
less than 100 quid.
Literally, it sounded like a tractor, but it had no power steering, and it was like
Yeah.
driving a proper car.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that car, and
That's
I can't believe
my
we've got rid
first
of it.
car.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I had a Saxo
fantastic.
3-stud, no power steering. Oh, what a queen.
That was real driving. I used to have you ever see those? You remember the VW Lupos?
Yeah.
They did one in the most horrendous green. I
It's
mean,
like luminous.
luminous green. I had one of those. It was my mum's old car, and it had no power steering. It had keep fit windows. It didn't have aircon.
Keep the window.
You heard of that before? Keep fit window. The doors on those were so big, though. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
They were huge, great doors, and the keep fit. We had a tiny little thing. You had to it was the rotating size of the handle was tiny. And the window was huge. It really worked a forearm and a bicep. It was.
Working 9 to 5.
It was fucking brilliant, and I love that car. No power steering, so you could feel everything through the
Yeah.
corners, and that was like the last sort of real driving car that I had apart from the Freelander, because that was an absolute
A
demon.
Freelander was not a driving car.
It was. I
No,
will
it
not
fucking
have
wasn't. It was a
bad
piece-
words spoken
It was
about
a
that
heavy piece of
Freelander.
shit.
Jem's just sitting here watching parents argue. Don't get divorced. It was a fucking, it was a damn good car. And I won't hear a bad word spoken about it. You fuck. You helped me build the damn thing.
It was no shit.
Fuck off.
I did like it a little bit.
I do feel sorry for kids nowadays though that don't get to have that driving experience, or like,
Because like
No.
when you buy your new car now, like literally everything's financed.
yeah,
There are no £600 bangers.
No, there aren't. I don't know. We've said this previously, haven't we? But you don't see anyone in these, like, 500 quid banger. Or I bought this off my mate for a packet of fags and a slab of piss.
Yeah.
It's all, they'll go straight down to the dealership. They'll sign them onto a nice £300 a month contract, and they'll just, and there's a £6,000 fucking £6,000 balloon payment at the end. But it's £300 a month. It's £300 a month. You can afford that.
yeah.
And it's a sad state of affairs, I think, really.
You still need the shit.
You do
for the new
to
drivers,
make you
because always
appreciate.
hit your car.
You do, yeah. I mean, I've had my fair few share of knocks. Have you had your fair few shares of knocks when you first driving, or were you?
Someone hit me. I can remember I was going to Bristol and someone came out of a side road and went straight into me, and I nearly went into the path of a van. I was like, oh.
Oh, properly T-boned you then, shunted you right over.
And he tried to blame me because he lived locally.
Fucking nonsense.
What kind of excuse is that?
I don't know.
I live around these parts. It's clearly your fault.
I always remember I was on my Colt. Do you remember the Colt?
I remember the Colt. I thought you were
Yeah.
asking me like what you were doing, and I
Yeah,
don't
Purple
fucking-
Wells. So we were at the Triangle.
In the local town.
Yeah, in the local town.
In the local town.
And I looked up the road. There was a clear in front of me. I
Mm-hmm.
looked to the right, and there was nothing coming. So I assumed she accelerated out.
Yeah.
I rearranged her rear end.
That could be taken in one or two ways.
Yeah.
I know enough people who've done that though. You look and you see, you're looking
Like,
behind.
literally, there was
Yeah,
nothing coming. I
yeah.
don't know why she
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, and the worst part is when they go and they stop because they sort of
Yeah.
hesitate, and then you could. There's so many times where I've been like, my nudge bar's worth more than your car.
But that's maybe a better driver.
Yeah. I think you need these things, and that's the thing. When you have an accident in one of these £600 shitters, you just throw it away at the end, don't you? And just go buy another one. And you don't need to claim on your insurance, but you daren't claim. Remember those days?
yeah.
You wouldn't claim on
No.
your insurance. You'd write a £3,000 car off, and you'd be like, can't claim on the insurance because that's going to sting me for the next 10 years. Whereas now,
Now we're old.
they're driving around in these 15 grand finance polos, and they've got
And they can't afford, like, if you hit that, you need to
it's-
afford to.
you
fix it.
2-3 grand
Yeah.
bumper and respray and the wing and the bonnet. That's, and
you
a
might
light
have taken the light out.
Yeah, light cluster. You're looking at £3,000 bills. So you have to claim on the insurance. You can't just chuck it away like we used to do. It's we'll put the world to rights on
Weird.
first cars. Yeah,
weird.
it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
You did an episode on first cars, didn't you?
We did. It was one of our really early ones, I think,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah. First cars and first car mods, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We put it to a vote, I think, and everyone wanted to hear about our first cars. We just sat here ranting about the state of things today, which is exactly what we just seem to be doing now. But yeah. Right, Marlon, have you got anything else to ask on your little list?
Bring the list up. Have you got any inputs or thoughts on the current driver situation?
To be honest, I think that it's not to do with wages, although we'd like to be paid more. Everyone wants to be
would like
paid more. But I think the fact that there are so many people out there with licenses that could work that don't want to.
It speaks volumes,
It
doesn't
does. It does. And if they sorted the facilities out and the parking out, that is one of the biggest stresses, and the taco hours and stuff like that, the amount you get fined and how harsh it is and stuff like that. People wouldn't be afraid of driving.
Yeah.
Because that's almost what it is. It's like, if you've got a family at home and you go to work, but by the time you get home, you could be wiped of all that money. What's the point?
Yeah.
That's a scary thought. I'd never really thought about that because in my industry, there's no chance of me going to work and getting a £2,000 fine.
Yeah. Well, in no other job you would get fined for
No,
working
no,
hard.
you wouldn't. No, I never really thought about it like that. I don't. I mean, even if your job is to drive a van for a living and you get caught doing, I don't know, 90 and a 60 or whatever, the worst you're going to get is like a 400
3 points and £100 fine.
or a fucking speeding course. If you get caught going over 5 minutes over on your tacho, I mean, what does that get you? Miles has fallen off his chair. He was so shocked by what I said. Where does that end you up if you were to go over on your taco, or what sort of financial situation is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, why would you be in a job that you could get fined that much
So
when you
easily.
haven't got that money in the bank? If you've got a family at home that you're struggling to feed anyway, why would you put yourself at risk when you can earn the same money in a factory
Yeah.
It's a fucking
and be home every night to see your family?
Yeah, it's a fucking sad state of affairs, really, isn't it? I don't. What is it? Like you say, the solution is there? There's not really one single point to solve this, is there? The whole industry needs a fucking good shake up.
Yeah,
from
I think
from an outside perspective, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking as drivers.
That's it. From what we've heard from
Yeah,
all
from
the drivers,
so many
from what
people we've spoken to,
seen,
the whole thing just needs almost tearing down and rebuilding because
Yeah. The treatment of drivers is the key, though, because then you get the better drivers, the people who are actually work conscious, that are going to get the jobs. And then it would be better if the HGV industry, if you were fighting for jobs, if you were, the jobs were a very few, so you're fighting for them, because then you'd only get the very best drivers,
best
and
of
surely
best,
that's
like-
what the general public want as well.
yeah.
the general public don't want any lorries on
Well,
that.
this is the thing. It's kind of a vicious circle. You've got these. You have assholes on the road driving lorries, and that gives the one in 100 will give the public a bad perception of what lorry
Exactly.
drivers are, and they don't think about the. I mean, I take note of it when I'm on the motorway and I'm overtaking a lorry, and I think they do it out of habit. The lorry will flash me to
Pull back in.
Pull back
Yeah.
in. I think
Yeah.
I see that, but most motorists won't see that. They'll just see, oh yeah, that lorry that just fucking cut right in front of me to get into the slow lane so he could pull off. And you think, well, that's not. But that's what they will remember. They won't think of the other 100 times that the lorry flashed them through, or the lorry pulled over
Yeah.
in that lay-by on the single track road to let them through, or put himself in a bit of a precarious situation where the body was a little bit leant over just so you could get that van through or whatever.
Yeah, or the lorry that backs up for them in the country lane because they know it'd be quicker than the
Yeah,
car backing up.
Sorry, I'm smacking That's absolutely bang on. Watching Doris in her micro, who's 80,
Oh my God.
trying to back up using her
Yeah.
mirrors, and you think, I'll just shunt this thing back half a mile. It'd be easier than watching you trying to left and right, shuffle. Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like, the older generation, at some point, needs to stop driving.
Yeah, I wouldn't say stop driving, but I think that it's been long spoken about, hasn't it?
Maybe a test.
I think
an assessment. I
a
think
5-year test of every car driver. I know that people are probably
Not in our younger years.
Well,
I don't know, because if you're a good driver, you've got nothing to worry about, have you?
I
It wouldn't be a test; it would be an assessment.
I'm
and
a
if you
good
were
driver. I
that
just got
bad,
poor habits.
yeah. But if you were that bad, you wouldn't pass, would you?
Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah,
A bit like the CPC, really.
yeah.
Why not get car drivers to do like a
It's the
CPC every
same-
5 years?
Right, okay.
that's what
So it wouldn't be as much.
What we
But
spoke about on the Snakers podcast. So instead of having the truck drivers going on bicycles in an urban environment,
yeah,
get the
exactly.
cyclist in a truck, or get us idiots that drive
Can we not
cars.
just
or
run
get-
the cyclists over?
Oh, it's sort of a lot of paperwork, Marlon. Trust me, I've been there.
Not if we take the number plates off.
No, but getting us lot in to sit. I think even sitting in a lorry on driving around towns or driving through country lanes or even on the motorway, you'd learn a hell of a lot just by even being a passenger.
The thing is, like, me and you understand that, don't we?
But we do to a point. I still don't think we have the grasp that people like JEM, Snaker, and all the other truckers we've had on this podcast, that we have a grasp of it, but we'll never understand the true the true depths of it unless we do it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
which is maybe we should do that. The Doghouse does a sit-in in some trucks.
Yeah.
And we sit there like,
that would be great.
oh, that'd be really
We're sat
terrible.
there and like literally you can't see anything out of the mirrors.
We'd be sat there like naughty schoolboys, wouldn't
Yeah.
we? We're like, oh, this is really difficult.
I think the thing with Arctics, though, because they bend, when you actually bend them, you lose a whole side of your truck.
Yeah.
Like once you've bent that cab round,
You
you're
can't-
either looking at your trailer because you can't see anything else apart from your trailer in one mirror. And in the other mirror, you've just got a vast open space that has nothing to do with your trailer whatsoever.
You lost for words.
Maybe we need to do a little thing.
Should we do something? Doghouse goes lorry driving. Well,
Yeah.
not lorry driving, but I won't be able to drive
Lorry
fucking-
spectating.
spectating.
I got the license.
No, I'm not. No, fucking from what I've heard over the last few weeks, I'm not doing a fucking HGV.
Well, you could
To
do
be
it
fair-
now. It's a lot cheaper to
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, you find them in the bottom of the cereal box, don't you?
Well, to be fair, my
Where-
sister's training to be a HGV mechanic, and I said, do it now. If you're going to do it now.
It's
Yeah.
like 1,200 quid to get your class 2.
Yeah, between now and Christmas, you can make some serious money. Serious money. Get on those Tesco's lorries. Oof, Christ.
You would make a lot of like, I think about it all the time. Like, you know, I could give up Wayne's and go under the radar and drive shit trucks and, you know, do shit jobs, but I would get a huge amount of money. I'd probably be earning double what I'm earning now,
Yeah.
but I work for a good company. I've got
That's
a
it.
good boss. I've got a good truck. I've got like decent things in my truck, like a fridge freezer and a.
That's it. You could piss off and work for Tesco's, but your wage would be doubled. Your shit would be doubled.
Yeah, and I'd be depressed.
Yeah, and like any chance to cut you, they would, sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's no loyalty there.
No, exactly. I'm better off sticking where I am.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you can't put a price on working for a good employer.
yeah.
No.
No. Right, I think we're nearly there, Marlon, aren't we?
So we have already asked you this question.
Right.
Tell us something your mum doesn't know.
Oh, wait. I remember this. I thought you were going to be like, "What do you think of the state of the industry?"
She doesn't know how to spell definitely.
Oh,
Me too.
that is one of the best answers we've had.
I think it's like defiantly.
Who was it? That's right. Who was the one who asked us something your mum doesn't know? And Spunkle was like, "We had to throw shit away." I was like, "That's not." Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jem. That was a really conservative answer. Did you think about that beforehand or not?
Well, I thought about there's a few things I could say, but thing is, my mum doesn't know a lot about my life. Like, it's like she doesn't know that I've got a following on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that because she just wouldn't get it. She's not a social media person. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, but Jem, somebody could steal your identity."
That's it. You got it. Yeah.
Literally, yeah. It's the next gen, isn't it?
Every time I go to buy something online for my old man on his computer, he's like,
Oh, they're going to see my details, are they?
"Yeah, that's it. You got it." Like, is it all right? Is it safe to put my details in here? Yes, Dad, it's fine. Things have moved on since 2005. All right, it's just chill, man.
Yeah, we're not on dot matrix
Yeah,
anymore.
your PayPal have got the details. Well, who are PayPal? Why have they got my details?
Because you've saved them in there.
Yeah, because you trusted them ages ago. Just don't worry, Dad. I'll just sort it out. Right. Anyway, I think we're ready to square off.
Yeah, I reckon we are.
I reckon we are. Right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. As always, thank you.
We love you.
Thank you, Jem. Thank you,
Thank
Brian,
you.
for
Yeah,
coming
thank
down.
you for
Appreciate
coming
it
on.
hugely. Where can everyone find you?
On Instagram at Jem Warren, JEMWARREN, or on TikTok at Jem Warren 85. I don't have Snapchat. Or
To be fair,
Long pause.
most of us don't. I still can't figure out how to work fucking Snapchat.
Just give up, mate. We're
Yeah.
too old. All right. We do podcasts now. All right. This is like white man
Like,
therapy.
Facebook is real
Do
difficult.
you know what they call podcasts now? It's white man therapy.
Yeah, but we done a thing and we got some.
Yeah,
people.
we've done a thing. Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Jem, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. I know it's been a bit of a trek, and I hope you enjoyed your evening in the doghouse.
yeah,
A
I
few
have
more-
really enjoyed it.
A few more
Thank
drinks
you very
after
much.
this. I
It's
hope.
yet to begin yet, so we're gonna get lit in a
Yeah,
minute.
fucked up. Right. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you everyone on Instagram. Everything's growing in fucking an exponential rate, which we never dreamed we would be at. Marlon, tell everyone what's the deal with the merch. And I'm going to edit this episode as well, so this is going to stay in.
It's my turn to edit.
Yeah, you're doing the truck show shit. I'll deal with this.
Right, merch is coming. It's just real difficult because we're so fucking small. So, like, our 50 hat order, nobody cares about.
No, there is.
So, it's coming. It's just a pain in the fucking dick.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do. That's me. I'm Reg.
I've been Marlon.
Oh, I've been Jam.
Oh, and I've been Jem.
We'll see y'all next week, yo.
Catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Yo.